The ocean hides secrets we were never meant to see. From strange creatures to chilling underwater finds, these are the most disturbing ocean discoveries ever recorded. The Strange Mermaid. It started as a peaceful walk along the beach until they saw it. Two women were strolling near the pier when one of them froze, pointing at a bizarre creature resting by the water. Its body looked thin and bony, its lower half shaped like a fish's tail. It didn't match the fairy tale image of a mermaid, yet it couldn't be anything else. The creature turned its head slowly, locking eyes with them. At first, they thought it was some kind of art display, but the moment they began recording, it suddenly moved, diving straight back into the ocean. Whatever it was, it didn't want to be seen. The Sunbathing Mermaid. The sea was calm that day, but what a man spotted near the shore was anything but ordinary. Lying on a rock was a mermaid-like figure, her tail glimmering under the sunlight. She looked relaxed, almost human, until she noticed she was being filmed. In an instant, she slipped off the rock and vanished beneath the waves. The man stood frozen, recording just the ripples left behind. People debate whether it was real or fake, but those who saw the video say one thing for sure: the way that tail moved, it looked real. The Giant Tree. Beaches often wash up shells, driftwood, even seaweed, but no one expected a tree the size of a building. On the shores of La Push, Washington, a massive drift log appeared one morning, carried in by the roaring sea. The tree was so huge that it dwarfed people standing beside it, over 200 feet long and about 13 feet thick. Locals were left speechless. How could a storm carry something that massive from deep within Olympic National Park to the ocean's edge? To this day, that giant log stands as a silent reminder of nature's untamed power. The mysterious blue creature. At first, people thought aliens had landed, but what they found was stranger than fiction. Along the beaches of Australia, hundreds of glowing blue creatures started washing ashore. They looked alien, jelly-like, and harmless, until people tried touching them. Seconds later, pain hit like burning oil splashing on the skin. Panic spread fast, but marine experts soon explained the truth. It wasn't an alien invasion, but Velella, a jellyfish-like sea creature. They aren't poisonous, but their sting can be intense. Sadly, once these delicate beings drift onto the beach, it's a death sentence. The slightest drop in temperature ends their journey forever. The red crab infestation. At first glance, it looked like a red carpet rolled across the sand, but this one moved. Southern California's beaches turned crimson when millions of red tuna crabs suddenly crawled out of the ocean, blanketing the shores. Normally, they live deep underwater, far to the south. Scientists say warm currents and rising ocean temperatures drove them here. Though small, these crabs carry a painful sting, making the beaches almost impossible to walk on. For locals, it was both a breathtaking sight and a nightmare to clean up. The mermaid in shallow waters. It began like any other fishing day, until he saw the splash. A fisherman in open waters noticed a tail thrashing just beneath the surface. Thinking it was a big fish, he moved closer. But what he saw next left him speechless. The creature had a massive fish tail, but its upper body looked human. It was struggling to free itself from something, twisting and pulling helplessly. Fear froze him. Instead of moving closer, he recorded from afar. The mermaid vanished beneath the waves soon after, leaving behind only ripples. And one haunting question: what else is hiding in our oceans? The clawed creature.
A morning jog turned into a nightmare for one man on an Australian beach. He stumbled upon something washed up on the sand, a bizarre clawed creature unlike anything seen before. Its skull looked reptilian, its limbs floppy, its body decayed with patches of flesh missing. The man, Alex Tan, filmed it and shared the video online. Instantly, the internet exploded with theories. Some said it was an alien, others a sea monster, or even a mutant animal. A few insisted it was just a decomposed possum or kangaroo. But one look at that skull, and it's hard not to feel like this thing didn't belong to our world. The eel-like creature. A man and his son were walking near Wolf Island when they spotted something horrifying. On the sand lay a long, decaying creature, part fish, part something else. Its body stretched eerily like an eel, but had features that didn't match any known animal. Before experts could even examine it, seagulls and herons began tearing it apart. Some thought it was a prehistoric sea monster washed ashore. Others said it was a frilled shark, but the father swore it had no gill slits. With the remains destroyed, the truth sank with the tide. Whether a hoax or a real unknown species, one thing's certain: the ocean still holds secrets we can't explain.
The giant in trouble. People on the shore couldn't believe their eyes. A massive shadow was moving helplessly in shallow water. It turned out to be a 47-foot-long blue whale trapped near Lanja Beach in Maharashtra's Konkan coast. The poor creature looked weak, dehydrated, and tired, as if it had been struggling for days. By the next morning, a huge rescue mission began. Around 50 people, including forest officials, worked for 6 long hours using boats and nets to guide the giant back to deep waters. When the whale finally swam free, the crowd cheered. The sea had returned one of its greatest children home. The turtle who knew. It was evening in Argostoli when rescuers spotted something heartbreaking: a sea turtle struggling in the water. A fishing net was tightly stuck in her throat. She couldn't eat, couldn't spit it out, and her energy was fading fast. As the volunteers carefully approached, the turtle didn't resist, as if she knew they were there to help. Bit by bit, they freed her from the tangled net. Luckily, she wasn't badly hurt. The moment she was released, she glided back into the ocean with peace. It's a reminder that every piece of trash we throw into the sea can become a trap for life itself. The mysterious beach dance. If you ever walk on a beach at night and see fish wriggling all over the sand, don't panic. You're witnessing one of nature's strangest love stories. These fish are called grunions, and they come ashore during high tide for a special ritual. The females dig into the sand to lay eggs, while the males wrap around them to fertilize them. Then, for 10 days, the eggs stay buried until the next tide releases the tiny grunions back into the sea. It's weird, beautiful, and has even become a tourist attraction. Though some people watching it might have, let's just say, questionable curiosity.
The jellyfish takeover. Visitors in Crimea couldn't believe what they were seeing. The beach looked like it was taken over by aliens. The water wasn't blue anymore. It was filled with white, jelly-like creatures floating everywhere. These weren't UFOs, they were swarms of jellyfish. Locals say you can't even swim without bumping into them. The reason? Rising sea temperatures and dry weather have created a perfect breeding ground. With nowhere else to go, the jellyfish have claimed the coastline for themselves. What was once a paradise for tourists is now a slimy kingdom of jellyfish. The return of the megalodon. Panic spread on the beach when people saw a massive shark washed ashore. It was so huge that some whispered, Could it be the Megalodon? The Megalodon, an ancient shark that vanished 3.5 million years ago, is believed to be the biggest predator in history. But marine experts had another theory. It might have been a basking shark, a harmless giant often mistaken for the legendary beast. The crowd kept watching until a huge wave rolled in and pulled the creature back into the sea. Real or not, for a few moments, it felt like the ancient monster had returned. The baby whales fight for life. No one could believe what they were seeing. A baby whale trapped on the shores of Rio de Janeiro for 24 hours. The poor calf lay helpless, its giant body baking under the sun. But soon, hope arrived. Around 300 volunteers rushed to save it. They dug a long trench to connect the sea with the whale and used slings to gently guide it back into the water. For a moment, everyone feared the worst. The whale wasn't moving. But then suddenly it splashed its tail, alive and free once again, as if saying thank you to the people who refused to give up on it.
The Boy and the Ancient Tooth. A 6-year-old boy on a beach in the United Kingdom made a discovery that most scientists only dream of. While collecting seashells, he found a 10-centimeter-long tooth, but not just any tooth. It belonged to the ancient Megalodon, the largest shark that ever lived millions of years ago. Scientists spend lifetimes searching for such fossils, but this lucky boy found it during a casual walk. He now keeps the tooth beside his bed, maybe to remind himself that sometimes even a child can find a piece of history. The whale that refused to give up. Off the coast of Namibia, a massive humpback whale lay stranded on the sand, motionless and barely breathing. Conservationists spent 3 hours trying to save it, fighting against time and waves. Many thought it was hopeless. But just as they were ready to give up, a strong wave rolled in, lifting the whale slightly. That's when it gathered all its strength, pushed forward, and swam into deeper water. The rescuers cried out in joy. They had just witnessed the power of life itself. Shark Mother on the beach. It was already sad to see a shark stranded on the beach, but what happened next shocked everyone. The shark went into labor. A nearby family rushed to help. Carefully, they helped the injured mother deliver her babies and released each tiny shark pup into the ocean. Some viewers criticized them for acting too quickly, but experts say their fast action probably saved the newborns' lives. It was a rare moment, a tragedy turning into a miracle of birth. The stranded killer whale. A dark shape lay trapped among rocks off Prince of Wales Island, a 20-foot-long orca. Seagulls circled above, waiting for an easy meal. But humans had other plans. Dozens of people formed a human chain, passing buckets of seawater for 6 hours to keep the whale wet until the tide returned. When the water finally rose high enough, a huge wave swept the orca back to freedom. It disappeared into the deep, leaving behind silence, soaked clothes, and a story no one would ever forget. The Mermaid of Kenya. A strange video shook the internet. People in Kenya crowding around a human-like creature on the beach. It had a long, moving fishtail attached to its body. The way it flicked and curved was too real for a costume. Some claimed it was the first ever mermaid of color caught on camera. The creature's movements were hauntingly natural, and for many, it was enough proof that maybe, just maybe, mermaids aren't just legends. The California Mermaid. Beachgoers in California couldn't believe what they saw. A strange gray-skinned creature with a long tail resting on the sand. It looked half human, half fish, and was calmly swinging its tail as if meditating under the sun. When it finally dived into the ocean, the camera caught its hairless head and humanoid torso. It didn't look like the fairy tale mermaids we imagine. This one looked real, raw, and unsettlingly close to something truly unknown. The Mermaid of Israel. Back in 2009, the small coastal town of Kiryat Yam in Israel became obsessed with one question: is the mermaid real? Locals claim to see a half-girl, half-fish creature appearing at twilight, swimming near the rocks and performing flips before vanishing into the waves. Witnesses swore she was real. The story became so popular that the local government offered a $1 million reward for anyone who could prove her existence. Years have passed, the prize is still unclaimed, but many still visit the beach at sunset, hoping to see the mysterious Kiryat Yam mermaid rise again. The ocean still keeps its darkest secrets. Who knows what's waiting to be found next?